Like it said in the title, I took a hike at Brighton State Recreation Area on the Appleton Lake Trail on April 5th, 2025. It was 45 degrees, chilly, and overcast. I'm starting with some drone footage from the middle of the hike because I need to explain something about people and what kind of people I am before we get to my shenanigans later on in the video. There are four types of people. Most folks are just regular, normal people working at a desk, having hobbies. We love these people. The next group is tiny but loud. These are a-holes. To keep this PG rated, and we'll just call them a-holes, but you all know what I'm really talking about. A-holes don't mind hurting or inconveniencing people to get what they want. These people suck, and we hate them. The third type of person is an idiot. The idiot hurts themselves and the people around them by accident because they are stupid, chronically careless, or just lost in space. We pity these folks. This brings us to the fourth kind of person, the moron. Moron is a normal person who mentally or physically hurts or troubles themselves, but without harming anyone else. An idiot light, you could call him. Continue watching and you will see a moron, me, in action. It's okay. I only hurt myself. Anyways, enjoy the rest of this drone footage. I think that's a beaver dam, or I'm sorry, a beaver lodge out there in the middle of the lake. This is Little Appleton Lake. It's very, very small, very landlocked in. But I think that was a beaver lodge, and you'll find out what happened when I tried to get closer to get pictures of that beaver lodge later on. Enjoy the rest of the drone footage. I'll talk to you in a little bit. I am at the Brighton Recreation Area outside of Detroit, Michigan. It is April 5th, 2025. It's about 45 degrees outside, and I am taking a hike on the Appleton Trail to check out the campground. It's about a 3-mile loop. As you can see, it's starting to green up a little bit out here, but everything is still pretty wintry looking. That's all for now. I'll continue to update as I find interesting stuff along the trip. Thanks. In the spring and summer, I suspect this is a very heavily traveled trail, but right now it's still pretty early in the year. It's still pretty cold outside. But the pavilion nearby had some kind of a party going on, but other than that, I haven't seen anybody on the trail yet. But we are in the suburbs of Detroit, so I suspect it gets pretty busy. Red oak trees and white pine trees both have very shallow roots, so you tend to see a lot of these really large oak trees. This one's probably almost 2 feet in diameter, pulled right up out of the ground because the roots are so shallow, and you end up with a giant 15-foot tall root ball sticking up and a nice little swamp underneath it. So this is the Appleton Lake Rustic Campground, which is part of the park. There are 5 different campgrounds here, and I think 3 of them are rustic. This one I wanted to check out because it's only about a half-a-mile walk from the parking lot, and I want to try and do some backpacking camping where you just pack in And having one with only about a half a mile walk to come in, carrying all your heavy stuff is great for a guy like me who's really out of shape, but wants to get back in shape by doing stuff like this. I will come back to you when I get down into the park and we can look at some of the campsites. I feel like this place would probably fill up pretty fast during the summertime, and you do have to reserve ahead of time. There are some nice little sites. You're not on Appleton Lake, but you're near it. Looks like there's a couple people camping already. But like I said, for somebody like me who's trying to learn hiking camping, the fact that it's so close, but there's still a 3-mile loop that you can do to continue on with your hiking is great practice for getting in better shape and doing longer campgrounds. The sites are not super woody, not super fancy. Each one's got a picnic table. Newer fire rings, which is nice, but they are also all kind of right in line with each other. So don't have a ton of privacy, at least in this part. I see some people camping up ahead and I want to disturb them, so I'll pick it back up again on the other side. I still have no idea how to use this gimbal. It seems like maybe it only works in portrait style, but the campground is really nice. It looks like there's about 25 sites. There's 2 outhouses. There's water. There's 5 or 6 people here camping this weekend, even though it's still real early in the season. I don't know how good this is going to look in a YouTube video because it's going to be pointing in the wrong direction. But I need to find the rest of the trail and continue on. But it definitely looks like a nice campsite for early or late in the year when there's not a lot of crowds, because I imagine it fills up pretty quick during the summertime. One of my least favorite things to see out in these hikes is poison ivy. Always a ton of it in southeast Michigan. You can tell by these big hairy looking vines. Gross. And that's a black locust tree, which there are quite a few of here. They're like semi-invasive because they originally came from a different part of the US and they got moved here. The wood is beautiful, but a little bit hard for carving. I guess it got used for tool handles and hedgerows and stuff back in the day. There is a dumpster here, so you don't have to haul your own garbage out. Lots of oaks and white pines in the area. And somebody made these fun tree stumps into mushrooms, which is cool. So this is not a particularly high elevation gain or loss trail. I think it's at 191 feet on all trails, which is not much. The trails are nice. That is Appleton Lake out over there. Looks like a pretty little lake. Don't know what the fishing access or anything is like. I can look it up later and put it on the screen for you guys. Tons of black cherry trees around here also, which excites my spoon carving heart, even though I can't come in here and steal any of them. But it seems like a nice little place. Just wading down through the mud here to get a little bit closer to the lake. This is why I always wear waterproof boots, because this is going to be nasty. Oh yeah, very boggy, but then it looks like it's dry right up over there. Up over the top of my boots, actually. Good thing we're laced up real tight. Oh yeah. Yeah, that may have been a mistake. Oops. Luckily feet are washable and it's not that cold out, so. The real reason I'm coming all the way out here is to see if that's maybe a beaver dam out there. Or if it's just a big old swan's nest. I'll get some shots with the other camera when I get a little bit closer. If I ever do make this into a video, it's gonna be a hell of a mess. There's the mud I walked through before. Looks a little bit more sticky over here, so maybe I won't fall in as deep. But if I do make this into a video, it's going to be a big old mess because I'm changing cameras, changing camera angles, sinking in the mud up to my mid calves, breathing heavy because I'm out of shape. But I guess that's part of the fun. Slurp, slurp. Oh my God. I'm going to put the phone away before I drop it. I mean, now we're stuck horizontal. This is where I am right now. You know, halfway in up to my knees in the mud. But dry land's right there, about 6 feet away, so I should be fine. If you never hear from me again, tell my wife I love her. But I got stuck in the bog and then eaten by coyotes probably. So you remember all those TV shows when you're kids, if you're in your 50s like I am? Quicksand was a big problem, like Gilligan's Island, the Flintstones, lots of movies like James Bond and stuff. Yeah, it turned out quicksand was never anything that I thought I was going to be threatened by. So I tried to walk back from this bog and just spent 10 minutes trying to extract myself from the bog in these 2-foot deep holes that you can now see went up above my knees. I had to lay my walking stick down, which is now also covered in mud, put my non-stuck foot on it, then use my hands to dig my foot out. And it is 42 degrees out here, so I am now wet. Need to get moving again before I get chilly, but I escaped. So I got out of the mud, obviously. I'm on a little overlook over Appleton Lake. Really pretty, nice little steep climb down into more bogs, I would assume. You would not be able to see this obviously later in the year. This is probably the highest part of the whole walk, but it still wasn't too hard to get up here even for an old fart like me. If anyone is missing a small dog, I'm pretty sure that that is coyote poop with bits of somebody's leash in it. Dun, dun, dun. Oh no, Sparkles. Watch out! Watch out for that coyote! Oh God, they got Sparkles! This tree branch tried to steal my hat. How rude.
I found this deer jawbone next to the trail, and then about 100 yards away, the other half of the jawbone. I'm not sure what happened to the rest of the deer. Because I'm still new to this whole YouTube thing, I had to hire a professional video editor. Thank God Jones knows what she's doing. This would be a mess without her. At the end of the day, I had a really fun hike. I took a shower, hosed off my pants and my boots, threw my socks in the washing machine, and spent the rest of the evening editing this video. Thanks for watching.